So here we go. Arsenal 2, Wolves 1. We're going to get into the player ratings right about now. We've got Kenny, we've got Jez, the usual suspects. And according to our fan base, we should be seeing a lot of 10 out of 10s tonight, boys. What do you reckon?
Really? I'm sorry, I must be watching the wrong game. I thought I was watching Arsenal Wolves.
You know, it is like, Jez. I think some of these guys probably sort of flicked through between Rangers and Dortmund, and then all I could see is this 1-0 down, and Wolves trying to waste time. And we came back and it was a great game. I don't think they saw like the first half and Wolves were the better side and everything, but it's like if we win, I've got to enjoy this thing. Of course, I enjoyed it. I mean, everyone was like knocking glasses off, knocking people's bags over when the winner went in. In injury time, of course, we all got injured. Got scratches. Still got scratches to prove it. So I celebrated like anything. I'm sure we all did. But we've been asked to analyse and give our opinion on how the game went, not just the last 10 minutes.
Exactly that. The Arteta sexuals are out in force tonight by the sounds of it. And look, we're going to get straight into it. Let's just get straight into it. Kenny, Aaron Ramsdale.
He's going to get himself a short, sharp shock because he was at fault for the goal. Not entirely at fault, but it was a mix-up which he's involved with, and his kicking was quite poor. And let's say he didn't really have much to do in terms of like saves wise, but in terms of panic, he was causing a bit of panic in the first half. Second half, he kind of improved with his kicking, but there was one instance where his kicking was over. So I'm going to give him a 5 today.
Okay, I would kind of agree with that as well. Ramsdale's been excellent for Arsenal this season. He's definitely been one of the better signings that we've had. But in recent games, I've noticed with him, don't shoot me in the comments, by the way, that he does flap at things a little bit, or he has been anyway. And again, like, Kenny just said there, I think he was definitely at some fault for the goal, 100%. Jez, Kieran Tierney.
Kieran Tierney. I didn't think he had a great game, to be fair. He was solid, but he didn't really fire up the game, to be fair, so I'll give him a 6. Bang average.
Okay, I would agree with that as well. He's another player. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but he's another player who started at Arsenal and started very well. He looked like the missing piece of the puzzle in the left back position. Bombs forward, putting crosses in and stuff like that. Just doesn't seem that sort of player just recently. He's kind of fallen off a little teeny bit. What do you guys think?
Maybe that's something to do with Arteta. I don't know. Could be wrong. Arteta seems to have this draw on people that they come in as a better than average player and end up average. Maybe I'm wrong, Kenny. What do you think?
I think so, definitely. I think he was too comfortable in his position as the left back, and he was definitely one of our worst players when we went through that horrendous first 3 games. He wasn't on his form. He's got it back a bit, but he is fallible, and he's picked up not today, but he was given a good game today, I think, in terms of down Wolves right hand side. I think, thank God Semedo went off with that injury. Because I think because he was giving Tierney a bit of a roasting in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. Kenny, Gabriel.
You know what? Gabriel's kind of like he takes a bit of risks. There were times when he thought the referee's going to bail him out, but he stuck at it. And I think in the second half he's very comfortable, so I'm going to give him a 7 because I thought he turned it around for me. I wasn't happy with him in the first half. I thought he got like rolled a bit by Jimenez, but in the second half, I thought he was one of those players who was trying to drag us into the game, trying to, get us forward.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
a little surprised at a 7, to be honest. I've got to be
Yeah,
honest. I'm a little
you know
surprised.
what it was? It wasn't so much his thing. It's that he was struggling a bit in the first half, but the second half, I just thought, his position had got a bit better. But Wolves, kind of made things a bit easy for us because I think for some reason, unbeknown to me, we were kind of there for the taking. And they didn't take up the offer. They thought 1-0 be enough.
Would you agree with a 7, Jez?
No, I'll give it a 6. Personally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kenny. That pass in the first half back to was shocking. He didn't look. He wasn't aware of what's around him. But all right, fair play. He did try and make up for it. And you can see the pain on his face when he did that. But yeah, I personally, I'd give him a 6, man. But I'll go with you. I respect your view. I respect your so fair play.
Yeah, definitely. I would say Gabriel's definitely been one of our better players this season. He's definitely starting to prove that he is a very good centre back.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm not.
Sometimes he just needs to cut out the rashness. And today, he can't. He was at fault for the goal, but he made up for it, like Kenny says. And I would probably edge more further on to like a 6 than a 7. But listen, it's your guys' player ratings, so there we go.
But he didn't get a red card, so that's a
That's true. That is true. Jez, Ben White.
Ben White. Well, what did he do? He was bang average. I'm not going to knock the guy. You said about every getting 10s. No, sorry, mate. He's an average player today for me, a 6.
Okay. Kenny, you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought there were certain times when I thought he's one of those people that tries to be cute and it don't suit him. You know what I mean? And I thought, he struggled a bit. He struggled a bit with the kind of when like the first half when Pedence was trying to draw us into draw the players out, like running the ball, dribbling. He struggled a bit in that first half. Second half, when we got where we threw Coulson in, he was a bit better. But you know what? He's shown a lot of inconsistency. I think he had a good let's say good October, in different November, good December. I think we've seen inconsistencies in the game where people are rightfully questioning whether he's going to have a good season this season, and people are questioning like the price tag. But I think Pace is going to have to do with virtual with him. But at the moment, is he justifies price tag? At the moment, not really, because he's not consistent enough. And there's a lot of at the moment we're seeing more average performances than exceptional.
Yeah,
I would agree as well. Kenny, Cedric.
You know what? First half, I was very frustrated with him. I thought that Wolves were running ragged. Nuri, and I thought he what's his name? The guy got the goal for the South Korean player, got the goal for Wolves. I thought that they were pressing him. They were very strong. They're doing the overlaps, and he was thank God for half time. But second half, Wolves, kind of made it easy for themselves because inexplicably they decided to, make do with a 1-0 lead that they had. So, to be honest, he is what he is. He's not a top class right back, and he hasn't produced top class performances. So, I'm going to give him an average 6 because today he was average.
Okay. Jez, Saka.
Oh, I rate this player, but I sometimes find him so frustrating. Why does he keep trying to play this ball between players' legs? You know, I've said it for so long now. Give it up, man. You know, it's a 1 in 10. And yet again today, dear God, you know, look, this guy's quality. Let's not forget that. But you need to find a different aspect of getting around players. You're young, and I respect that, and fair play. But 6, I'm sorry, 6.
Okay. Kenny, do you agree?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because I think he is our go-to man. And I think he kind of represents the way we start games at the Emirates, where we start really, really fast for the first 5 or 10 minutes. And we think, right, we're really at it. And then we go in a bit of a lull where teams kind of work us out because we're becoming a bit predictable. So the first half is very frustrating. He is part of that performance. And, it's not for the run to try, but, there are times where his final ball has to be improve a lot, because moving forward in terms of like helping a football club and maybe his international aspirations, there's going to be players who are going to be playing that position for it, who are going to have a final ball, and that could negate any of his sort of starting positions for England. And for Arsenal, obviously, he's got a fair crack of the whip, but we would like to think that in a year's time that he is going to, make better decisions, not be too predictable, and probably get, instead of getting the odd goal here and there, be more consistency. I think that's what he needs: consistency in his game, because there are times where teams are aware of him, but you don't want a situation when they're going to work him out and then he becomes non-effective.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think Saka was probably one of the poorest players on the pitch for Arsenal today. Inconsistency is the word. I think he's still a young player, but he lacks a bit of consistency. I think he could also do with a little bit of a rest as well. He's been majorly overplayed for me, and definitely could do with a rest. Kenny, Thomas Partey.
See, that's the thing with Thomas Partey, is that the first half, I think him and Jack had got himself in a bit of a tangle, in it. Like he's because the Wolves were like coming out with waves and sways of attacks and dominating the midfield from Coutinho and Neves. He had to put himself in a position of like what I call it, like a holding midfield, and told Jack, get out of the way, mate. You ain't got no pace here. They're gonna run rings around you. You just be the sort of like attacking midfielder alongside Odegaard. And I think he had a job in his hands because he struggled in the first half to, quell the Wolves' attacks. Second half, when Wolves invited us back into the game with their negative tactics, I thought he did a bit better. But I do think that in terms of like complete footballer, I think he's probably our best player in terms of like experience and what I think he'll bring to the team in the future. And I think that we're beginning to see why we paid all that money for him from Atletico Madrid. But in today's game, he had a job in his hands with Wolves midfield. But for me, he was probably one of our better players in what I thought was a regular performance. So I'm going to give him a 7.
Okay. Jez, I'm sorry, mate. This is orders from the boss. You'll have to take it up with him. But he said you love giving a rating for Granit Xhaka. So Granit Xhaka.
Excuse me. I've got a cold. Xhaka, was he even on the pitch in the first half? I don't remember it very much. What can you say about Xhaka? What can we say? Now, he did get involved in the second half, to be fair. So I will be fair. I'm always fair with players. I always want players to succeed. First half, I thought he was bloody awful. Didn't see him for the first 15 minutes. Second half, I actually saw him in the 18-yard box of Wolves. So you know, Christ, fair play to him. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna have to give him a 6. He didn't do a great deal, but yeah, I'll give him a 6. Fair play.
Okay. Kenny Martinelli.
Awful waste of time. An awful performance. Let's be honest. You know, you don't normally associate Martinelli with that kind of performance, but you know, a lot of people were saying around me that he wasn't getting himself in the game and that we weren't getting him into the game. I mean, but what he did was, you know, that was the type of performance that would frustrate fans, not towards him, but straight fans in terms of the manager, because you're thinking, hang on here, you know that there's a player who's our most expensive player who's not getting the game, and that if he performed like that, he would have got crucified by the fans, by this manager, and I'm glad that the manager recognised this and hooked him off, because it was a waste of time. I mean, whatever he did wasn't quality. Apart from that shot which went straight at the goalkeeper. Apart of, you know, let's just say it's a good thing he's a crowd favourite, because if he wasn't a crowd favourite and it was been someone else, they would have cascaded him. But seeing I don't go the majority, I have to give him. Sorry, I'm giving him a 4. That was just awful. Sorry, that kind of performance is just not acceptable, mate. Not acceptable. I'm not even going to give him the, you know, the out of the extenuating circumstances. I've got to call it as I see it. It weren't good enough.
And you were at the game, Kenny, so you saw it live, man.
Yeah, because I don't know how it looked to you guys when you watched it in you know, on TV, but on the game, please.
Yeah, it was poor. It was poor.
Yeah,
it was poor.
He was definitely very, very poor today. He definitely looked well off the pace. It's almost like, you know, that red card against Wolves kind of affected him, maybe mentally, you know, but he definitely looked well off the pace. I don't know whether he picked up an injury during the week or something like that, but it definitely wasn't a Martinelli type performance, you know, even down to the working hard. You know, normally with Martinelli, you can guarantee that this kid will at least work hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he just didn't quite look the same today.
No.
Jez, Lacazette.
Well, there we go. What can we say? My call was that before the game, I wouldn't have started him. I'd have started Pepe, but we know Arteta won't do that. And first half, lacking again in his ability to score a goal. I think the guy, you know, I'm gonna backtrack here a bit, and I'll give some credit. I think this guy is panicking. He's so desperate to score a goal that it's panic. And you know, when a player gets that stage, I think it's such a shame. And the fact that Arteta kept him on, and he scored a goal, whether it's an own goal or it's his goal, I don't care. He scored. That I truly hope, will give him some confidence. And you know, the first half, I thought it was woeful, because he was just kicking balls into defenders and all this and all that, and it's bloody awful. But he scored the winner. What do you do? What do you say? Because I like the fella and I want him to succeed, I'm going to give him a 7.
Okay, Kenny, you agree with that?
Fair enough, definitely, because you know, it is a game changer when you score a winner, and you know, and winner, and you know, he should get the credit for the goal, because it was his work to sort of, you know, create chances, and you know, when he did get help and support, you know, he did look a different player, you know. But you know, Jess is right. There is panic in his game. There's frustration, and you know, he's not playing he's playing with someone who's got a piano on his back, and he's playing like he's got the world's problems on his shoulders. So really and truly, we're going to need a calmer Lacazette in all aspects of the game, most particularly in the penalty area, because there's times where he gets too excited. He's so desperate, to score that you could tell that it's affecting his all-round game.
Yeah, again, I would agree. I think the one thing with Lacazette is that I've noticed very recently with him is he gets the ball stuck underneath his feet quite a lot. And then when it comes to trying to take that opportunity to shoot, he's always caught off balance. And, he just doesn't look like he's full of confidence in terms of like scoring goals and stuff like that. Maybe someone give him a little whisper in the ear and said, look, bro, we've kept you here. We've allowed Aubameyang to leave. Aubameyang scored tonight. You've got to do something for us. Do you know what I mean? Like, because as you boys just said, like in the first half, he was awful. He had so many opportunities to, put the ball in the back of the net. Not that there was clear-cut opportunities, but there was sort of half chances. But one thing that I do notice with Lacazette as well, he was trying to get the crowd going. He was trying to get the crowd up.
Saw that. Yeah.
Get the third man, to kind of get the support and stuff like that. And, big up to him for that. But in terms of his overall performance and especially in front of goal, he definitely needs to improve on that if we're to finish or to get anywhere near finishing in the top 4, in my opinion. We'll go to the substitutions now. Jez. Have I just done Jez? No, it's Kenny now, isn't it? Kenny. We'll give Kenny Eddie Nketiah.
You know what? He did make a difference in terms of like he was he did have an assist for Pepe's equaliser, and he did show a bit of energy, and you have to, I'm going to give him like in terms of like his cameo appearance, I'm going to give him a 6. Because he did bring us a bit of energy, and he forced Wolves to defend.
Yeah, he did.
And I think that's what you want. You want to affect the game by, getting their defenders out of that sort of like easy mode.
Definitely,
very true.
The only Ola said to me on the watch along, he said, "Look, Eddie Nketiah, he needs to find a new phone line or whatever, because he ain't phoned anybody for a little while now. He ain't been phoning anybody. Maybe he's with Tesco Mobile or something like that. He needs to get gift gaff." But,
I see what you mean. It says I don't know. There were times this January where we hoped that he phoned his agent to get a new club.
You're probably right, Kenny. Yeah, that's the. Jez, Nicola Pepe.
Game changer. Mr. Arteta, if I may call you Mikel, let's get personal. Then let's unleash the beast. Unfortunately, you don't see it. Guy comes on. He's came on against the last game, and he looked at Brentford. And he looked quality. And he looked quality tonight. And he scored a goal. So maybe, Mikel, you might want to think about actually starting him. £72 million player. Give him a run of games. Let's see what he's got about him. And fair play. So, yeah, I'm going to give the guy an 8 because he came on and he turned the game. And once he was in there, Wolves looked a little bit like they were panicking a little bit, because all of a sudden there was somebody in and about their box that was giving them a bit of panic. So 8 for Pepe, and my man of the match.
There we go. That was going to bring me on to my next question before we, of course, rate the manager, which Lee tells me we normally do a 1, 2, 3, and then we all sort of give the manager a rating at the same time. Man of the match. Who's your man of the match, Kenny? Jez has just told us his.
Well, you know what? Jez took the words out of my mouth because I was going to give Pepe the man of the match. I said it. I'll tell it to anyone who listens. I said it on the fan cam. I said it on my Instagram story as well. Sorry, Instagram and post. Pepe changed the game, you know, and Pepe should be starting football matches for this football club because he's fresh, he's confident, and he is a game changer. He can unlock defences. He's got the skill. He's got the directness. You know, there's no way whatsoever that he should not be used. You know, yes, Smith Rowe, you know, is having a good season. You know, Saka's, you know, clearly main man. Martinelli's got a lot of potential, but if you neglect Pepe and we don't get the top four, then it would be on the manager because the simple reason is that you can't say you haven't got options, and that's kind of option to win his football matches, and you have to utilise that. You know, we're not in a club of three. There's fans all over the shop at matches and social media who want Pepe to be more involved. And I'm not saying it just because for the sake of saying it, he proved that, you know, there are instances where tight games he'll win it for us.
Definitely. My man of the match is again. I'm going with you pair, Nicola Pepe, without question. And the one thing I'll say about Pepe is I never really have rated him that highly. I've always felt that he was a bit too inconsistent, you know, not inconsistent enough to warrant being benched every single week and being exiled to the bench every single week. But especially when he first came into Arsenal, very, very inconsistent. But there's one thing about Nicola Pepe that a lot of Arsenal fans tend to forget. He scores goals. He creates assists. I believe he got 15 goals and 12 assists last season. You know, that is something that we're crying out for now that we haven't got the likes of Aubameyang to score the goals for us. So maybe Nicola Pepe could be the one to, you know, put us in the top four. But Arteta has got to start trusting in this guy a lot more.
Yeah.
And look, speaking of Arteta, of course, we've got to give Mikel Arteta a rating. Guys, what are we saying? 3, 2, 1, and then let's go?
Yes, please.
Okay, so in 3, 2, 1, 8.
6.
I'm going to give him a 6.5 because of the introduction of Pepe. But because the introduction of Pepe, so 6.5. I did, and I was happy with the way his substitution of not just Pepe but Nketiah worked. It gave Lacazette some support, and it made it ran the Wolves' defence ragged. So he deserves a bit of credit for that. He does, and which he's got from me anyway. Not the sort of 9 out of 10 that I think that a lot of Arteta, how I say it, admirers would like. But you have to earn high marks from me regarding Arteta, and it's not personal. It's just that we got another test. Watford on paper was going to be an easier game because they struggled and got battered by Palace. But expectation is the onus is going to be on us. Croydon Roy is going to have them organised. They're not playing with particular confidence, but there's goals there from Watford, and they do give us a bit of a game. So it's just on to the next test.
I'll just say why I gave him a 6 is because his starting lineup is so bloody predictable. And every manager in the Premier League knows pretty much with our squad starting lineup. And it's time, Mr. Arteta, to actually change that. Let's start maybe a game, or let's get a few games going and not start with the same lineup. And let's get Pepe in. Let's pay him up front. And let's see what that brings to the party. Because, I'm sorry, it's just so boring. And the only thing I'll say for him today, he didn't do the usual substitution of Lacazette for Nketiah. So that is a bonus. He changed it up there. But there's so many things, Arteta, that you could do with this team if you looked at it, but you don't. And that is one of your biggest failings in management. There are some quality players there. If you could only get out of your arse and actually look at what you've got, but you fail to do so.
Okay. After listening to your two reasonings, I'm going to have to change my rating a little bit. I'm going to order it, and I'm going to go with a 7. And the reason is because after listening to Kenny and Jez, I originally went with an 8. I agree, especially with what Jez just said there. There is good potential within this squad that Arteta could use it a little bit better, and that we are very predictable at times. The one thing I would say about today's game, especially, is I think in the first half he got it a little bit wrong. I think he realised that, and that's why he was trying to land aeroplanes on the touchline and that.
As he always does.
But his substitutions were absolutely bang on. I personally was calling for Lacazette to come off the pitch.
I think quite a few of us were, you know what I mean?
The winning goal, you know what I mean? I was a bit miffed about Martinelli coming off before Lacazette. I'm happy that he brought on Pepe. I felt he could have brought on Pepe a little bit more, a little bit sooner. And then, the usual Nketiah substitution. However, I was very surprised that he brought off Cedric instead of, Lacazette or anybody else. So he kind of went for the game and it worked. It got us the 3 points. So we'll give him credit for that. But performances have to improve if we get top.
See, that's the thing, Brandon and Jez. People. I think people who have criticised us, the results does matter, and they're 100% right. It does matter, and we always say, but eventually, when it comes to the league, you get found out, and you do find your level. It's not like the cup where Middlesbrough can go to Old Trafford and take the penalty shootout and ride their luck, or a lot of teams who win cups. We can talk about our performance in the FA Cup in 2020, where better teams than us, were defeated by us in the semis and the final. But it's about luck. But in the league, the truth always comes out, and that's why we've got to play a lot more better. Like I said, sustain our pace in our game when we play, and most importantly, we have to find a way of getting goals in this team, and Pepe has to be utilised. Can't keep on, just relying on him to get us from the bench. Why don't we try and win games from the start? Let's
just say to you, Kenny, and Brandon, whilst the fan camp's going on, Del Boy TV, big up Del Boy.
Oh yeah, big up him, Del Boy. Yeah,
was on, and he had Julian
from AFTV.
Yeah,
respect Del Boy, respect the other, because as much as we think Julian is over exuberant with his opinions, and he's very excitable, and he loves winning. He wants the club to do well. I think we want to hear from him and find out what he's about. So I've got respect for Del Boy for having him on.
Well, he did, and fair play to Julian, and I will big him up. He was so honest and respectful that it honestly says to me, when he's on AFTV, is it all scripted? Is it just for hype? Is it because he's getting paid? I don't know. I've no idea. But if you get a chance in your leisure, go and have a look at that, because
I will.
Julian, never spoken to him, don't know the man. But fair play to him. He was on Del Boy's channel, and it was actually good shit was talked there. So fair play to him. You know, I've watched some of his.
He's leading a crystal wave. I think he comes across as someone who hasn't been to Arsenal for a while, and he's got back into it. You know, he's enjoying the match day. He's enjoying going to away games, and he's been part of it. And obviously, people who know will know him a lot more because he's been given this chance by Robbie. And he's taken that chance with both hands. Don't always agree with his opinions. I think he's like over optimistic, and he's very cliched. But
Can I let you know
he's enjoyed himself.
Can I let you know a secret?
Yeah.
Del Boy actually said to him, would you come on a channel of mine with Kenny and Jez?
I bet he said no.
He said yes.
Oh, sorry. I think did he?
Yeah. So
I was surprised. I thought he was.
No. He said yes, I would. Yes. He doesn't know me. He obviously knows you.
No, he don't. I think we kind of saw each other at Leicester away, where he was in the car with Robbie, and they beat me because I think Robbie pointed me out. But apart from that, I've never had a conversation with him. I've said things in jest. But one thing is that I always respect someone who wants to debate and is his own man, because there's a lot of people who would have said things about us three, you included, Brandon, and I include Lee in that as well, where they said, well, don't go with these guys, they're Arteta outs, they're toxics. And I know people who have been advised not to have anything to do with us, but if he's willing to do that, then I've got the greatest respect for him, because I want to hear what he's got to say. In fact,
he said yeah. He said no.
But you know one thing, I won't even say much. I'll just let him speak and won't even interrupt him. I'll let him speak because I want to hear where he's come from. And it's not kind of experiment. I just want to hear from a different point of view in terms of like why he feels that he feels the man's backed. I want to hear kind of his backstory, because one thing you can't take away from him, he gets a lot of enjoyment watching us play and watching us play live. And I'm always going to have time for someone, a respect for someone, one who feels that way about the football club genuinely, and two, wants to have a debate and isn't being influenced against other people. And I hope we do have that kind of debate and show with him.
No, he said he was up for it. So
that's good.
The thing is, it's like Brandon tonight. I think, mate, fair play to you, and I'll big you up because for what you've done tonight. To take on Lee's show and to manage it as you have, doing the watch along with Ola and all that. I knew, when you came on, you looked like a rabbit between the headlights, but then you got into it. You did. You got into it, and fair play to you, mate. Well done.
Well done, mate.
You've bigged up the channel, and well done to you. All I'm going to say to you is, I hope you get more traction on your channel. You do deserve it, because I watch channels, and you talk some good content. As I said to you earlier, that time you did about the transfer deadline day, you had the clown things and all that.
Oh my God, I remember that.
That is so funny. And I just hope you move it on. We had a private conversation offline, and the work that you, Lee, and other people have to put into it is bloody hard work. And fair play to you guys for doing it, to be fair.
Another thing as well, don't listen to the haters. Listen to haters, because let me tell you something now. I looked at all the comments of the people who've slagged me off on my watch-alongs, and who slagged me off, and there is a common denominator about all of them. That whatever I say, I'm always going to be the bad guy. They're going to accuse me of trying to take over the show, talking too much. They're going to accuse me of being a hater, blah blah. Trust me. it's personal, but their hate is not just exclusive to you. They go around slagging off anything that you do in your channel, what Lee does in his channel, but you watch them. They'll follow you if you go on a podcast with people who they respect, and the first thing you know, it's the same people slagging you off. So don't take what they say with a pinch of salt, because at the end of the day, they haven't got the balls to show their faces. Trust me. There's a guy who slags me off all the time, and Lee and Jez. He's a guy called Do One. I've never once seen him in a podcast. Never once. Or a guy called John Dapper. Never once seen him in a podcast at all. You know.
Yeah.
No, there's a guy.
The only one who's
Go on.
No, go on, just No,
there's a guy on Brandon's channel earlier, his fan cam, going on about this, that, and the other. And I said, look, mate, you're always welcome to come on. And then there's a guy, I won't mention his name, but he's always commentating on your fan cam, my fan cam, Lee's channel, Lee's general channel. So I sent him a comment. I said, look, mate, if you got something to say, come on the channel. And I commentated to somebody else's comment, and I said, don't start talking that in the chat. He was talking religion. I said, don't start talking like that. This guy came in and said, no. I said, no, don't talk about it. So he went, all right, I agree. Shut up. But why do people do this? Why? What do they get out of it?
Well, I think 9 out of 10 times they're trying to defend the football. They defend the club. 2, they generally don't like us, and 2, they what's happening is that they want to kick because they want us to reply. They want us to give them traction, and what they don't expect is that we do get, 1, they get the traction that we're giving them, and 2, we actually challenge them. So we'll come and show us what you can do. And once we call them out and mention them by name, 1, they think, right, boom, we got what we wanted, and then when we invite them to come and show them their best, we won't hear from them again because simple reason is that we've basically confronted them and said and told them we're not going to put up with this, and we're going to cowed, and we're going to stand by opinion, and they'll go and bother someone else. And I think that's what they're going to do. You know what I mean? I think that's when you have to do it, but I think because at the end of the day, it's your opinion, your channel, and let's face it, if people don't like you and Brandon, they're never going to start. They're not going to change their mind. They've already made up their minds about you and your views and everything. Look, he's got it on, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
I love that.
So there we go, guys. Go on.
Mind you, mate, I'll tell you what, I'd be shit scared, mate, if I was walking down the night and I saw that.
Yeah.
So there we go, guys. This has been the player ratings. Arsenal won another important 3 points into the top 4 with a Rat Army. Fuck the haters. Yeah.
Rat Army.
And we'll see you again soon. Peace.
Arteta, you're not the main. Pack your bags. Get us top 4. Let's get someone who could take us to that next level. But we'll thank you later off with your P45.
Conte might be going, so